All right, so the first time since 2019 I got out and saw a live show guided by voices tonight in Columbus. And then if you're a Fish fan, don't worry, I'm going to be continuing the webcast right now, and we will be back on here later. And wow, first time seeing them, really somewhat of a new fan. I've been aware of them my whole life, growing up in the same town as Mr. Pollard, and like having him as a substitute teacher as a kid and everything. I was aware of them and knew they had a band and knew a few songs, Teenage FBI, My Valuable Hunting Knife, some of those songs, Glad Girls, obviously. Glad Girls was referenced tonight and talked about, and opened up, played a lot. I'm glad I had listened to their most recent albums, and they got like 5 recent albums. He commented during the pandemic that we didn't stop. We put out 5 albums. So, as always, Fish fans always talk about how prolific Trey is, and he is very prolific, but 5 albums since the pandemic. And I believe this was their first show back. They got a little small tour kicking off here tonight, and Earthman Blues was one of the newer albums I've listened to a lot, and they played several songs off of it. Child's Play opened up. They played Batman Sees the Ball. That was one of my favorite songs off of out of they played tonight, and out of just all the stuff I've heard from them so far. So that was really cool that they actually played that. Haircut Sphinx, another new song off of one of the new albums they played. And then a whole bunch of other ones that I just did not know the title of. At one point, I did take a bathroom break. I came back from the bathroom, and they were playing something really, it sounded the heaviest thing I heard all night, probably. Then there was another song, had a bit of a, not a long, extended guitar solo, but a bit of a guitar solo at the beginning and the end of the song. I didn't catch the title of that one, but I really liked it. And then as the show wore on, Mr. Pollard, Bobby, Robert started to, drink more and more. I was impressed early on, like 4 or 5 songs in, which was only about 10 or 12 minutes in. I said to Mary, I think that was the first drink he's taken tonight. Well, then he continued to take drinks and drinks. And then at one point he took a big swig from a bottle of something. And then he had the beer in the hand. But it wasn't getting sloppy. The only sloppiness is Earthman Blues. I think he referred to it as the new album Earthquake Glue at one point. Then he corrected himself, made a joke about it. And then they continued to rock. And man, just an electric show. And I don't mean electric like the instruments they play, which they are electric, but just boom, 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 boom. Most of the bands that I go see, Fish obviously being one of them I see the most, just like tonight, that Carini opener, 15 minutes into the show, they're still on song 1. 30 minutes into the show, they're just 3 songs in. Not the case here. They must have, I don't know how many songs they played, 40, 45 songs maybe. Robert at one point joked they were going to play 60 songs. They are not going to play 100 songs anymore. They apparently maybe had played back in 2019, did a show where they played 100 songs. So that was not the case tonight, but they did crank them out. And there was just something about that was cool, because there was a few songs I just didn't care for. I didn't like it all. Just didn't like how it was sounding. But the good news is 2 minutes later it was over and they were on to the next one. Little bit of banter. He thanked everybody for being vaccinated that was there. It was a vaccinated crowd, probably 500-600 people. Maybe a third of them were wearing masks, so everything felt pretty cool there. It was nice of him to thank people. I'm sure some people probably weren't real happy about it, but they wanted to come to the show, they had to do it, and everything worked out great there. Yeah, there was one guy that was down in the lobby, had a paramedic working on him. Not sure what his problem was. I don't know, maybe it was his first show in 2 years. He went a little too hard. I had me a couple of beers, and that was it. You gotta have a couple beers, right? Ran into one dude that recognized me from YouTube, dude. So if you happen to see this, that was pretty wild. I guess he's a Fish fan. He likes he likes cool music, so. But there's a chance he's a Buckeyes fan, I guess. So, all right, man, that was really cool. My first time ever seeing him. I will probably go back. Thanks to Joe and Chuck for, Joe gave me a heads up on the ticket sale. Chuck really encouraged me to go, and I'm really glad I did. And hopefully I can run into Robert here in town at some point. He likes to go to this place called the Submarine House, watch some football, drink some beer. So now if I see him, I can be like, dude, I've seen your band. You guys are amazing. He's a hell of a performer. He is like, I want to compare him to like David Lee Roth or something, but that's just who I like. He's a performer like that, like a Pete Townsend or Roger Daltrey, Eddie Van Halen, or David Lee Roth, one of those type of guys. He is a performer. So that was really cool, It was a nice change of pace for a lot of the music that I had seen, my last 10, 15 shows. Saw a bunch of crazy bands in New Orleans, they were more musicians than they were performers. And not that these guys aren't musicians. They know what they were doing, man. It was cool, man. It was cool. And they got their pit crew, just like Fish does. All right, guys, boom, we're 5 minutes, we're out of here. I will go see them again, and if you watch this and you've never seen Guided by Voices, you should definitely go check them out, man. It's a change of pace if you're like a Fish fan. They can get it done, man. Not everything's got to be a 20-minute jam. Boom. Thanks for watching. Give us a thumbs up. Why not? Give the band a thumbs up. They made 5 albums in 2 years. All right, guys.